Hey, do we have any questions from you guys?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good stand.
For Daniel.
Oh, man.
When you got word that you were going to be this character that has been like idolized and I mean books, history, everything, how did it feel? I mean, was it stressful at all? I mean, you have to be the vet.
You know what? We were just talking about it on the way in here. I didn't realize what opportunity I'd got given. I was 13, and I mean, as a 13-year-old kid, you're kind of like oblivious to the world at that age. You know what I mean? And I filmed, and I met Ewan McGregor. He was the best. I mean, Ewan is the best, top-notch guy. I can't even say another better word about him. I mean, he ruined my chances of being able to drive the golf carts because I was the golf cart kid. I couldn't drive a car, so I'd drive everyone around on the golf cart on set. Like, you want to go there? I'll drive you. Can I? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, the ADs and that didn't know about it, so it was fine. Well, Ewan and I, we spent almost every day together. So there was this little hill that right in front of the directors and the producer's office. Well, we break off the governor. He comes flying down the hill, slams on his brake, and hits it sideways like, burp, burp, burp. That's awesome. My turn, my turn. As I'm jumping in the car, all I hear is, get that kid out of there. I'm like, well, because of the insurance fact, I couldn't be driving at least, or doing that stuff anyway, you know? So they kicked me out of the golf cart, and I was not allowed to drive for the rest of the shoot. Well, the last day I was leaving to go back home to New Zealand, Ewan met me at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was still pitch black. And drove me around. I was driving him, actually, around the studio in the pitch black in this golf cart for about an hour or 2 hours just together, like just driving in the dark. And I mean, he had to be on set the next day. So I mean, for him to do that was, I can't even put into words. I mean, I still think about that to today. And that's more or less the reason who I am and why I'm the way I am, because the position you get put in life, you never take advantage of that. And you always treat others as you want to be treated. So I mean, Ewan helped my experience so much that, like, I didn't even think about, oh, I'm on this big Hollywood set, you know? Oh, there's Natalie Portman, the most gorgeous woman in the world, just standing there in a beautiful white outfit, you know? I mean, it was amazing. But I came to my convention, and I had these big, black 8 bodyguards that wouldn't let you touch me, wouldn't let you take a picture of me, wouldn't even let you look at me, basically. And that's when I kind of realized, I was like, I hit it, you know, like, this is it, you know, like, when you got bodyguards, you're doing something, you know? So, on set, I had to watch the movies to, obviously, learn of how Jeremy portrayed Boba and how he brought him across. So, I did use that, but because of my oblivious to the thing, I just kind of used what I kind of saw as the dark side and incorporated that with Boba also, you know, on top of what Jeremy did. So, it wasn't until I came to the conventions and saw, oh my goodness, people are writing comics and books, and there's toys and there's puzzles and everything Boba, you know? And that's when I realized, you actually got given a great opportunity. Because when I went on the set, I was there for 4 months, but all I ever did was just sit there and go, ooh, ah, wee, look out, wee, ah, ah, ooh, you know? So it wasn't until I went to the convention I realized, you know.
Sorry,
Boba.
what was the question?
Next question.
Yeah, do it. Let's say here, they're in the back. Yep.
When you were doing the original Star Wars, like Empire and Dawn, a lot of that stuff was science fiction then, but you kind of caught up to that, and stuff that was science fiction then is science fact now. So I want to know, what more that's science fiction now do you want to see become science fact in your lifetime?
Yes, I would like, before we leave this world, I'd like to see, I think there's a lot to come out. It's incredible what you can do now, and I'm sure all in our lifetimes we'll see a huge change. You know, I mean, what is going on, I don't want to harp on that, but what is going on in Japan, what is going on in the Middle East, and having travelled the Middle East doing theatre plays, it was difficult enough then, but something's going to happen. I really believe that does that really happen? Look what's happening now with 3D televisions. You can almost step in them, you can close around. There's so much technology, that's why it's bypassed me of explaining to you. I don't understand it, but something, if you believe in, there are aliens out there. I've seen them. No, sorry.
This is the wrong convention.
No, there definitely are aliens, other beings in planets, but it might take years and years for them to come. They're here. I'm alive. Thanks for the question.
Anyone else? Yes.
My question
questions for Daniel. In Revenge of the Sith, what was actually in the helmet after Jango Fett got decapitated?
Oh, Attack of the Clones?
Yeah.
What? Actually, you know what? To tell you the truth, I think I was the first one to realize that the head actually fell out of the helmet. Because everyone would come on and like, man, why did the head fall out of the helmet? I go, well, because it would have been a little too gruesome for kids to watch the movie. But I used to make a joke, no, it fell out. So one day I was at home watching the movie, and we actually put on freeze frame by frame, and you actually see the shadow of a head fall out of the helmet. And to tell you a funny story about that, I was getting out of my costume, and as you see, I only have a little jumpsuit, so there's not much to get out of. But that was basically getting me out of the costume, and George comes into the costume room. He's like, hey, I need him in his outfit. Put him back in. And they didn't put every little bit on me. They just wanted me out and put me in. And he grabs me and goes, okay, grab this helmet, and just all I want you to do is just kneel down, touch it to your head, and that's it. Well, he kneels down on one leg. Well, I kneel down with 2 feet, like I'm squatting or something, And he goes, okay, thank you. That's all we need. I'm like, okay. It wasn't until I saw the movie I realized that Jango Fett got his head chopped off. And in the premiere, I'm the only one who went, yeah! And everyone else was like, ooh! You know what I mean? And then they look at me, and I'm sitting in front, and then one of the reporters come up to me after and goes, why did you cheer when your father got his head chopped off? I go, because it needed to happen. I go, now I'm the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. You know what I mean? So, well, that's pretty good. I was like, I had to get rid of him sooner or later. Sooner the better for me, But, no, so that's how the helmet thing came across. And I really didn't even know my dad died. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know he died the whole time.
Now, when they brought you back for Clone Wars, how much of the character's arc have you discussed with the producers and the writers? Are you given any kind of freedom at all to take Boba in any direction, or do you have a target?
I'm not allowed to answer this question. I'm sorry, George. No, you know what? Again, I have a lot of freedom. I mean, as you see, I got a lot of energy, so trying to bottle this up, I think Red Bull would be a great investment. But no, seriously, I actually get to go in a studio. They give me my script 2 days before. With, confidential D Logan on it, so in case I try and sell it on the internet. No. Yeah, I get it, and then we go in, and I'm nervous. I mean, I came from the movie family to now the cartoon family, and they're two completely different families, but they're incorporated in the same. It's like having your in-laws or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you're always good with your own family, but you go over to the in-laws, you're like, okay, try and put on a good impression. So I go in, and I look at the lines. I've been doing a lot of acting classes for the last 6 years. So I've been doing a lot of like script breakdowns and like just a lot of everything. So now when I go in the studio, I can kind of get what the writer is trying to create for me to bring across. But it's just using my voice in that right context and being able to use it to the right way is the hard thing to do. But with Dave Filoni and all the rest of the guys, they're the greatest. They know what they want. They can tell you and tell you pretty much how to get it and where they want you to go. So I actually had a little lunch with the directors and stuff the other day, and it's nice because, as you said, I'm hopefully going to be able to incorporate what I think Boba Fett should be doing and stuff like that too. So, I mean, the galaxy is surprising, and you got to stay tuned, or I'm going to start talking more and more, and then it's not going to be good. But the Clone Wars is good. Stay tuned. Season 4.
Let me know what Boba Fett does, won't you, in the Clone Wars? Because I haven't seen it. Because of I don't have satellite television.
Confidentiality, Daniel Logan.
Confidentiality.
Now I'll call you when you come to my house.
Not with those dogs, thanks very much. No. Sorry.
Let's see, who else? Yes.
Jeremy, when you were filming Return of the Jedi, and you found out that Boba was going to be killed, how did you feel about that?
Well, yes, I knew after it was shot that, all the stuntman going into the pit, so I didn't know Boba Fett had gone into the Sarlacc pit. But you must remember that when he goes down into that pit, he's quite a clever. He's got to mend his jetpack. He's got to get out, so he has time down there. So what he's done is he's opened a wine bar down there. A few bounty hunters fall in, so they have to pay the bounty. He's opened a Hooters. I don't know what that means. Nice chicken wings. So lots of things. So he's pretty cool. He can cope with it. But I had no script. And a lot of us didn't. You didn't even get 2 pages. You said, you'll be doing this in this area. Oh, okay. So That's why I mucked one of the lines out. I wasn't told what the lines were until the day.
Anybody else?
Back in the back, yes.
This is for Daniel. How much research did you do on Boba Fett's childhood and misery for the children's books that come out, the young reader novels? How much of that did you read before you went into the book?
Well, see, they didn't have very much of that available to me. I mean, they've only started like bringing up the young Boba Fett after me being in episode 2, really. So I never had really much to go by. All I had to is realize that this is a kid who's not necessarily dark, but not necessarily light. Though he has been followed, he is being shepherded by his father. So technically, whatever his father says or does, he does also. You know what I mean? I had to also realize that he wasn't technically a bounty hunter at the time, and basically I had to give away everything that I know and I live for, and basically evolve into Boba Fett, and that's how I incorporated him. I didn't bring any of me to Boba Fett. I mean, as you see, I smile all day long, you know, so it's like that's just one of them. So really I had to like watch the movies, and I had to really hone, like, okay, this is a little kid, this is not you, this is his own person, he's had his own background, he doesn't have a mother, he has a father, you know what I mean, and he has no friends. So it's kind of, you know, don't give you much to play on, but then it also gives you, when George Lucas doesn't feed you lunch and then realizes, what's that angry looking kid over there in the back? Why is he so angry? Oh no, don't worry, that's Boba. We just didn't feed him lunch. Keep the phones. Come on, bring him on in. And action. No, but yeah, I say that's my angry face look. When I don't eat, I get tunnel vision. Don't want to be around me when I'm either tired or hungry. I turn into Darth Maul. No, but yeah, so I did a little research, but really with Star Wars, you really can't do much. I mean, there's expanded universe, but we've expanded so far in the universe, I mean, we could write movies for days, you know what I mean? So I do read the expanded universe, though. My favorite new one is the one about the tooth. What is it called? Nobody? We got some real big Boba Fett fans in here, don't we? What's the young one called? Do you know the one with the tooth? His father Django sends his young Boba to go get the tooth. It is Blood Ties.
Yeah.
Someone just pulled me up a Blood Tie earlier, and Boba Fett was Django Fett. I was like, I don't like this Blood Ties.
I think you're nuts.
I think I've been nuts for a while.
Let's take this one right here. Yes.
Yep.
What do you think the most useful thing in modern day would be? What's the most useful thing in Star Wars that we can use today?
What's the most useful thing in Star Wars that can be used today? Well, Boba Fett. He's just, you don't need... Congratulations to all the 501st, by the way, who are here supporting us, and they make the whole thing look so cool. But that's all you need. That's all you need is Boba Fett to help you out. Don't need any of the guys over there. Lovely costumes. Don't need them, Boba Fett. Sorry, it was a joke.
They're all leaving.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah. No, but just imagine having a jetpack. That's what I would love. If I could have anything, I would just want a jetpack. I mean, having to fly out here, do you know how long it takes to fly out here? Sit on a plane next to someone who's grouchy because they're in the middle seat, and I'm trying to be happy, wondering if I have bad breath because they're not looking at me every time I talk to them. But I think a flamethrower and a jetpack would be the sickest thing. I'd be flying up like, you want to mess with me? What's up now? That was a warning shot. Next time will be your hair.
Yes.
I have a question for Jeremy. Do you feel like have you kept in touch with some of the actors from the original trilogy since you've been connected with them?
Yeah. No, the question there is have I kept in touch with the actors from the original films? Yes, you see them either at a convention, but a lot of the actors who played Imperial officers are all theatre Shakespearean actors that we say, isn't this extraordinary? We've just finished a play and we're all dressed up in funny costumes. And really it was a great get-together when we were filming, and then at different events you say, hey, haven't seen you for 6 months, so you have a beer. Probably Daniel will buy me a beer later today.
I'll buy him the whole bar.
Thanks. Thanks. But it's nice because you get back to chat to say, God, it's still going on, the Star Wars. So yes, you do see all the guys.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the question
No, it's rather like the Star Wars, you know, that I did an early Doctor Who in 1964, but it was black and white and virtually live. And I had eyebrows here. These were blanked out, shaved and blanked out, because we were a strange race. But it was so hot in the studio, as you were saying, "Doctor, Doctor, we must find you. Where are you?" The heat was, the eyebrows started to come. So you would go and stick them back. And they might be like this or like this. But if the story was good, it doesn't matter. You're the person watching it. And if you suddenly had one here, they'd go, "Oh, it's a bit of a shadow on his face." No one could tell. But I loved the early one because it was, the walls would wobble. The sets were awful, but if you could get that across to the public, this is what this is, it's a good story, then no one cares.
Now, how many doctors did you get to work with? You worked with
William Hartnell and John Pertwee.
And John Pertwee,
yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite doctor?
John Pertwee. Because he has that, when you're with him, he's very giggly, and it's very difficult because there was a lot of laughter. I was playing Hal the Archer, firing bow and arrows, and practiced, and when it came he said, "I'm keeping well clear of you, dear boy, if you're going to," and the arrows were flying up over the place, and he just said, "I want danger money." All the time he was joking, but he was a good doctor. The two new ones, well, one's gone now, but both excellent. Lovely manic way they portray it.
If they ask you to come back to do a Doctor Who now, what would you say?
Oh, I would, yes, I'd love to. Then there is a chance, because you know the writers, you know the directors, and occasionally if you're in the right place you say, "Hey, it'd be lovely to come back," and then by Monday they're saying, "Hey, would you come down?" And that's how things happen. So you never know.
There's another question from the character here. You're next on my list.
Who was your favorite character besides Boba Fett?
My favourite character, I always say Jabba the Hutt, but no, the favourite character I think is Han Solo, because he's very like Boba Fett. They've gone their separate ways. There's a bit of a dark side with Han Solo. If the money's right, he'll take it. So he's very, very similar. And I think somewhere they flew together in Slave One or the Millennium Falcon. So he would be my favourite character.
Now, your autobiography is called Flying Solo. Is that?
Yes, it's funny.
Sort of
The book I've written is Flying Solo, which means I'm flying Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. But it also is a meaning, when I finished drama college, I remember the headmistress coming up and saying, "Well, Jeremy, you're on your own now, you're flying solo. It's up to you. No one cares whether you work or not, but you're flying solo." It's true. She said they don't care. But right from the age of 12, I was flying solo. So that's one of the meanings.
Yes, right over here.
This is a question for both of you. What is your personal opinion on how Boba Fett's character was received by the fans? Do you feel like slightly overwhelming, or?
Yeah, I think it is overwhelming. I mean, when I was presented 2 years ago with my own costume made by the Dented Helmet, there's such love and warmth for the character, but also your connection with Star Wars, and it's just, it is quite overwhelming, really is. Did I answer the right question there? I was probably...
Just be like me and go off on a tangent, man.
Yeah,
That's a 20 million questions.
Yeah, but I have dogs at the end of it, so that's no... Sorry.
Be setting up one of my dogs on you.
Yep. Okay, let's... One last question from somebody who hasn't asked. Anyone who hasn't? Yes, in the back. Last question.
Yeah, I sort of read the odd comic, but I don't want my grandson coming in saying, "Why are you reading a comic?" But I keep up with a bit of it, but people have to tell me what's happening. They said, "Have you read this bit?" And he goes there and does this. And I think it's amazing the amount of comics and books about Boba Fett. So there's a lot of literature there to read.
There's a tons. Yeah, no, I read up on him and stuff. I go up to Lucasfilm and get him to send me all the toys and the newest T-shirts and stuff like that. And it's funny because I walk around with a Boba Fett T-shirt on, and people are more enticed to come up and go, dude, is that Boba Fett t-shirt? That's awesome. Instead of going, hey, dude, you are Boba Fett with a Boba Fett t-shirt. So I kind of like, yeah, I won't wear those t-shirts anymore. That make me feel bad about myself. No, I keep up. I mean, like I said, with the blood ties, that's one of my favorite. I was sitting next to the guy in Sydney, and he goes, hey, I've been looking at your face for months now. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, I've been looking at your face for months now. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of creepy. Then he passes me over his Mac computer, and he's like, check out this. And he shows me. He's actually the one who drew the animation of me for the blood ties. And once I saw it, I was like, oh, dude, you're the man. I'm your best friend. I love you, man. You did this. Oh, man, what can I give you? What can I get you? So, like, you know, and then he said, well, you can't tell anyone about it. So I didn't even know what it was called, you know? All I knew was, like, the drawings were amazing. And I didn't look like a deranged monkey or gorilla. So, I like that story. I like that story a lot. But me and Jeremy have created our own story. So, I mean, I think me and Jeremy's Galaxy is a lot more interesting. So I think we might make a short film and see what you guys think about it.
All right. Well, Jeremy Bulloch, Daniel Logan, thank you very much for your time
Thank
today.
you all very much.
Thanks for coming out.
Once again, big thank you to the 501st who have been standing there. Stop. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
Hey, and thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. And enjoy Planet Comicon!
It's back to Slave One.